After completing the quest, I insisted on staying in that world, forgoing the lucrative rewards. It was because I had a happy and perfect family there. My brother was a genius world-renowned scientist, and all his research achievements were named after me. My father was the world's richest man, and all his wealth was under my name. My mother was an extraordinarily talented dancer, but she gave up the stage just to spend more time with me. My family pampered me. I was the most envied, pampered daughter in the world, until the day their real daughter, Carrie Langford, showed up at our door. Their love for me vanished overnight. From then on, I became inconsequential. Carrie orchestrated her own fall down the stairs, and my mother was so angry that she broke my leg. I ate a small bite of the cake Carrie threw away, so my father locked me in a dog cage for 3 days to dine with the dogs. He also made a golden cake for Carrie to make her feel better. Just because Carrie complained that her heart hurt, my brother dug out my heart for her and replaced it with an artificial heart. It's just a heart. You've always been healthy. Carrie needs it more than you do. Calmly, my brother stood to the side, analyzing the data. Don't worry, artificial heart technology is already very advanced, so the theoretical survival rate is very high. You won't die. After my soul left my body, I saw Carrie casually throw my heart into a trash can. The long-dormant system was awakened. Would you like to take back everything you've given them, including your father's wealth, your mother's dancing talent, and your brother's intelligence, in exchange for a chance to revive? Chapter 1. Racked with agonizing pain as I lay dying, I chose yes in my mind without hesitation. Selection confirmed. Return procedure initiated. Countdown 72 hours. Because you overstayed in this world against the rules, you must fulfill certain conditions to activate the return procedure. Within 72 hours, your mother must perform a dance for you, your father must spend money on you, and your brother must name an experiment after you. My body's intense rejection of the artificial heart drained the vitality from my body. I dragged my broken body back home one slow step at a time. The Langford family was holding a party to celebrate Carrie's return. I appeared at the door in blood-stained hospital gown, instantly becoming the center of attention. When my mother saw me, the smile on her face immediately faded. Jasmine Langford, it's just a minor surgery, so stop acting like it's a big deal. Carrie had surgery too, and is already healthy enough to attend the party. I stared fixedly at her, my body so weak that my lips trembled. My mother used to be just an ordinary dancer whom everyone in the dance troupe looked down on. She practiced until her feet were a bloody mess, yet she was still relegated to a background role on stage. I sacrificed my body's coordination and sense of rhythm, turning myself into a clumsy idiot who didn't even walk properly in exchange for a supreme talent for her, which skyrocketed her to the pinnacle of the world dance scene. She danced across national and international stages, winning countless awards. At the peak of her career, she announced her retirement to spend more time with me as I grew up. Perhaps because my gaze was too lifeless, my mother's expression softened a little. Jasmine, stop trying to compete with Carrie. She suffered so much and has finally returned to us after all these years. As long as you behave, we won't mind your little temper tantrums. I gathered all my strength and hoarsely pleaded, I won't try to compete with her anymore. Mom, can you dance for me one more time? As soon as I said that, Carrie pouted unhappily. Jasmine, how can you be so selfish? Mom's dance is an art that belongs to the whole world. It doesn't just belong to you. I smirked and used reverse psychology to anger her, but she retired to spend time with me. Carrie's eyes turned red, and she tugged on Mom's sleeve, looking pitiful. Mom, I didn't have you by my side growing up. Even watching you dance was a pipe dream for me. Jasmine has everything. Why does she still want to compete with me? My mother's anger was instantly ignited. She scolded me sternly. What makes you think you can make me dance for you whenever you want? I've spoiled you rotten. Jasmine, you want to see me dance? Fine. As she said that, she dragged me to the center of the banquet hall roughly, ignoring the fact that I had just undergone surgery. Since you want to see me dance so badly, then watch closely. The music started. It was her famous piece, Warfire Rose, known for its intensity and explosiveness. A whip kick sent blood gushing from my mouth and nose, the newly stitched wound in my chest ripping apart. Another spin, and her heels slammed hard into my ribs, and I clearly heard a crack. Chapter 2. To complete the quest, I forced myself to endure it all. Finally, my mother kicked me to the ground. She looked down at me from above. That's all you've got and you want to watch me dance? Fine, then I'll use your body as my stage. With that, she danced on my back, my limbs, and even my face. The excruciating pain made my body spasm, and blood oozed from the wounds. I heard the sound of my bones breaking, and I also heard the gasps and cheers of the guests. It's no wonder she's the world's best. She's incredible. To be able to dance so steadily on such an uneven stage. When the dance ended, I lay in a pool of blood, my consciousness fading. My mother bowed gracefully, kicked my face with the tip of her shoe, and said with a sneer, remember this lesson. Don't ever try to compete with Harry for affection again. You're not worthy. At the same time, a system prompt sounded in my mind. Condition 1 met. Reclamation of your mother's dance talent initiated. My father, who had just finished a work call, came in through the door and frowned when he saw the state I was in. What happened here? I strained to speak with my last bit of strength. Dad, save me. Please spend some money to treat my injury. Before I chose to stay in this world, my father was just a laborer who worked at construction sites. During the day and clean toilets at night to support his family. He had done all kinds of dirty and tiring work, and his hands were covered with irremovable grime and scars, all for the sake of this family. I couldn't bear to see him work so hard, so I sacrificed my control over wealth in exchange for his good fortune. I was unable to spend a penny for myself for the rest of my life in exchange for overwhelming wealth. For him, that made him the richest man in the world. He thought I was just reluctant to spend money because I was used to being frugal, which broke his so he placed all his assets under my name. Of course, those assets now belong to Carrie. Hearing my plea, Carrie immediately grew unhappy. Dad, even if we're not lacking money anymore, that doesn't mean we can let Jasmine squander it like this. We have to save for a rainy day. I glared at her, then turned to Dad, pleading, but I'm bleeding all over. Dad, please stop the bleeding for me. It hurts so much. Dad hesitated, but Carrie suddenly lunged into Dad's embrace with a shudder. Jasmine, please don't glare at me like that. After all, I used to be really poor. I didn't dare to spend a penny more than I had to. With that, she began to choke back tears. Dad comforted her, holding her tight. Don't cry, my precious daughter. Dad's money is your money. Dad will only spend money on you. Carrie immediately smiled through her tears. Then she pointed at me and said, but Dad, she's so dirty. Look, she's stained this beautiful carpet. The smell of blood is so disgusting. She's ruined my good mood. Dad tensed up immediately because his daughter was upset. Don't be mad, sweetheart. If she's dirty, I'll make her clean. He made a phone call. Soon, a huge transparent crystal bathtub was carried to the center of the banquet hall. Then, the servants brought in bucket after bucket of a highly corrosive cleaning agent. They poured all of it into the bathtub without hesitation. Finally, a pet grooming team walked in with hard metal brushes and high-pressure water guns. The guests erupted in enthusiastic applause and whistles. 2 bodyguards grabbed me and ruthlessly threw me into the bathtub filled with the pungent chemical. Dad, are you really doing this to me? I screamed in horror. You used to get upset if I got so much as a scratch on my skin.